Good evening, everyone. Welcome to RadioSilentPlay.com. I am your moderator for today on Sunday, February 7th, 2016. Let me start off by saying I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence before trading any stock or options. Trading stocks and options require lots of risk. I want to thank everybody for joining me. I know that there is a Super Bowl going on. I know a lot of people like watching football. I'm going to review something. I'm going to go over a quick dialogue on what's going on with oil. I've been getting a lot of questions whether I think if oil has bottomed out. I think I'm just going to do a really quick overview on what oil is doing. I came up with a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to play it right now. So first off, are we getting close to a bottom on oil? Okay, if we notice, there has been a lot of volatility in oil. How I like to base whether we're finding a bottom is by looking at previous history. Looking at the history and the past gives us an idea of what to look for. Okay, so I want to kind of talk about smart money. Okay, we talk about the dumb money, we talk about the smart money. Smart money is pretty much the hedge funds, the big banks. When do they start positioning into oil? If you look at this this line here, okay, this is the top Bollinger Band. This was back in 2008. And if you notice, this blue line, this is signified as the smart money. Okay, if you notice here, the smart money started getting interested in oil once it started touching this upper Bollinger Band. Okay, if you notice here, okay, I circled this area. This is when you started seeing a bottom in oil, and then you started seeing an uptrend. Okay, so the way I start looking when to start looking to buy oil or going long oil as a hedge, I start looking at the historical chart. I look where the smart money is buying, and I start looking at previous charts, okay, and different time frames. Okay, so if you notice now, this is 2016. Now you're noticing that this line or the smart money is about to touch that upper Bollinger Band. Okay, this is significant because we want to know when this thing is going to hit that bottom, so we could start looking to position into hedge or hedge on an upward market in the oil sector. As I talked about before, sometimes we trade stocks and we don't necessarily look at going long or start building assets and looking for dividend paying stocks. I know I sent out a vast majority of stocks with some dividends and some bottom plays. So we're going to start looking at them soon. Do I think that it's now? No, I don't think it's now. But I just want to kind of show you guys what I'm seeing. Okay, so this is 2008. Okay, if you notice, we had a big drop in oil back in 2008. We had pretty much the financial calamity that was happening in 2008. And then we saw stocks just like kind of just deflate on a panic on the housing market crash, and you started noticing that you started putting in a bit of a bottom here. Okay, so crude oil bottomed in 2008. Smart money started buying as it hit an all-time low, okay, in 2008. As if you notice here, the blue line hit that high, okay, and that bottom was formed. Okay, the smart money is this blue line, and if you notice that it hit the Bollinger Band, which is the green line here. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that concept as we move forward. Okay, now if you look here, okay, you notice that this thing kind of plummeted, came down. 1 second. And you started seeing a bottom accumulation here. As you notice, again, the smart money started buying once it hit that Bollinger Band and that bottom was found. Okay, if you notice, same thing. It's happening now. So as we start seeing this thing kind of hit this Bollinger Band up here, this is when you start noticing that you're kind of settling in and you're getting a bottom. Okay, so right now this is where we're at. Okay, so when smart money hits green, it will likely trigger a potential bottom in oil. So smart investors are getting close to going long on oil. Okay, so what we want to watch is for that bottom signal to hit. Once it starts hitting, we can start looking to buy these long oil stocks with dividends. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're patient. If you look here in 1986, you notice that you actually put in a double bottom. If you see here, okay, you've bottomed and then you hit that peak, and then you bottomed again. If you notice here, this peak was taken out in February of 1987. Okay, and then you started noticing that this oil just started breaking out. If you notice here, back in 2008, basically did the same thing. You actually pulled back, you hit that bottom, and then you created a peak, and then you kind of broke out a couple of months after in 2009. Okay, so this is significant if you want to start noticing where am I going to start buying these oil stocks. Okay, so this is crude oil in 1986. The crude oil in 1986, you actually hit this double bottom here, and then you broke that pivot high. Okay, then you started seeing that rally in oil. So what we want to kind of see now is we want to see this thing kind of double bottom out. If you notice, crude oil hit a low, I believe, of 26.70, and then rallied, and now it's coming back down. So we want to see how it kind of tests that 26.70 again. Will it break that level and go to new lower lows, or will it hold and maybe potentially bounce higher? That's what we want to know. Okay, so oil in 2008, basically the same thing. It put in that low, that pivot high, then it pulled back, and then you started seeing that breakout. Okay, this is where we're at now. Okay, if you notice, this is when we hit that 26.70 level, and then we actually rallied. Now what I want to see is price action, if it kind of potentially tests this bottom again, and if it holds. If it doesn't hold, then we're going to see lower prices. What I usually say is wait for that 2-day confirmation or that 2-week confirmation. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that what we're going to look for is that 26.70 level here. We're going to see how it kind of responds. Okay, will we test that 26.70 low? Will the price react well to that price tested, or will it look for a positive breakout up to here? Okay, so that's the level that I want traders to kind of look at. And another thing that I want traders to kind of look at is this red line here. Okay, like I told traders to watch, this is the XLE. This is the level that you want to see it kind of break out. Once it breaks above this 36 level on 2 consecutive closes, then you have upside up to 48.50 level. Okay, so this is the key level on crude, okay, is that 36 level. If you notice, we hit that 26 level, kind of tested it, and then we bounced, but now we're kind of trending here. And now what we want to see is what's going to happen around here. Are we going to close above 36 on 2 consecutive closes? If we do, now we could start looking for that potential break. And once you break this 50 level, now you know you got upside. Okay, so this is what I want traders to kind of look at. And for oil, any questions on anything that I've covered with oil? I know that some people were trying to say that oil was bottomed, and I know some stocks did well, SDRL, UWTI, and the Freeport McMoran, but you know, we have to kind of wait whether we're going to start going long on these stocks. Okay, especially if you're hedging on some of the plays that you do now. And as I always say, you know, I know we're trading OTCs, we're trading some options, but sometimes you got to take that profit and you got to put it into a tangible asset. So this is very important for you guys to kind of understand that this isn't just about trading quick and not growing your money. You know, whenever you make some money, you want to be able to kind of push that and put it into something that's going to start growing your account, and you're going to start hedging on market conditions. Right now, we're in a deflationary period. Okay, what does that mean, a deflationary period? That means that we have an oversupply and less demand, and what happens is prices start dropping. Okay, we have a stronger dollar. We just raised interest rates. So what does that mean? Okay, that means we're not really in an inflationary period anymore, or what people were saying, oh yeah, we're going to get into inflation. Now, there's things that we have to take into consideration too. What is gold doing? Okay, a lot of smart investing, okay, or the smart money is heading into gold. If you notice, we hit this trend line, and this is when I sent a gold. I told traders to start looking at gold at 98, 101. The contracts that we posted, I mean, some people were just, oh man, they couldn't just hold. This is a weekly chart. But if you notice now, it's at 112. You know, I was taking a lot of slack when I was telling traders to start looking at that 100 even level on the GLD. And now look, we're breaking out. So now what we want to kind of look at is we want to see if we're going to break above this level. Or is this going to be a shorting opportunity? It could be a shorting opportunity as well. Because every time we hit this level, okay, you kind of break down. But if you notice, okay, gold is significantly stronger. Silver, same thing. Okay, if you notice silver right now, you're in a nice trend right here. You just closed above that 21 and 8-day moving average. I told traders to watch that 1350 level, and it actually hit and kissed this level here. And then you saw a nice bounce off silver. So these are things that I want traders to kind of understand. Okay, last week we talked about the potential waves in oil. This is in the S&P 500, Elliott wave theory. Okay, we talked about that wave 1, wave 2, then that huge wave 3, and now that wave 4 correction. I said traders look for that 194 to 197 level, and look right here. We hit that high of 194 right here, and since then we kind of broke down and kind of holding that support now. Okay, do I still think that we could test 194 still? Yeah, we can. But this isn't the trade that we want to take right now. Okay, we want to take the safest trades. Okay, if you look at the Qs right now, you've broken key support here on 2 weeks. Okay, this is what you call a bear flag right now. We're in a bear flag sentiment right now. Okay, so you see that? Close below 98 2 times on 2 weeks notice. You're talking about a move down to about $87, $85. So the markets are significantly weaker. There is some volatility out there if traders want to trade some markets and scalp, but is that the best trade? Is that the way to make money in this market? Okay, I gave a couple of trades, HYG, CLF, or CLR, and it gave a good opportunity to start profiting. So you got to be patient in this market. The way we trade options, we like grabbing contracts for 2-3 months and slowly accumulating a position. And this is important. And on Friday, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a webinar on Friday. So I'll give you guys a heads up. I'm going to talk about what we're looking to do during a market correction and how we're going to approach oil and gold. Okay, so if you guys are interested, I'll just post that on the group meet chat. Okay, so I'm going to start going over a couple of things. First off, I'm going to start off with the options. We are in what you call a bearish sentiment right now. I don't want traders to fall in love with the downside, but I don't want them to fall in love with the upside as well. Right now, what I want to start looking at the weaker stocks. What are we going to look to start shorting? Okay, because what we have is a downside bias right now. Okay, so first ticker symbol is going to be Tiffany. Okay, that's ticker symbol TIF. What I'm looking here for is any push. Okay, any push up to the 69 or 70 level. Okay, 69 to 71. And if we do happen to hit 69.71, we're going to start looking to short. I didn't put the contracts, but most likely if this thing hits, I'm going to start looking at April contracts. Okay, I want to go a little bit farther away. Okay, so if this thing hits 69.71, I will look to add, and then I'll send it via mobile app. If you guys haven't seen, I posted how we can utilize the mobile app. I posted a video out there. If you don't know how to use it, I recommend you watch the video. So far, we've gotten only 5 views. So it's very important to understand what you're buying into. Part of the service is to understand what the tools are. All right. So Tiffany right now is in what you call a downtrend and what you call a bear flag. Okay. So move one, okay, or option one is whether this thing gets to 69.71. That's going to trigger a short. If that does not happen, what we're going to look for is a close below $62 or $62.50. Once it closes below $62.50 on 2 consecutive closes, we're going to look for a move lower. Okay, and we got downside down to as low as $57. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty good move. If we can actually see either a close below 62 on 2 consecutive closes, then any move back to that 21 and 8-day moving average is going to be a shorting opportunity. Or what we're going to look for is that resistance at 69 to 71. Okay, so that's going to be the setup one. Again, I haven't posted contracts because I don't know what what contracts I'm going to look, because we still haven't triggered on this. Okay. Next ticker symbol is ticker symbol T, which is AT&T. And something to consider and understand right now is what's going on with AT&T right now. Okay, right now we're in a downside bias, yet we have AT&T rallying. Okay, so that means that AT&T is one of the strongest stocks in a down market. Okay, so what I like about this stock is during a bad market condition, this stock is still continuing to go up. What is that going to tell me? That this is in a considerable uptrend, and I want to add any pullback. The best entry here is going to be that 21-day moving average at $35. So watch that entry from $35 to $35.50. Okay, I put $36 just in case it kind of pulls back. I want to add because I have upside potential to about $40 here. That's a pretty good move. I haven't posted any contracts because I don't know what contracts I'm going to be looking at, but this is something I will be looking at into next week. Okay, these are one of the strongest trades right now that I'm looking at is the AT&T. Okay, I do believe we have upside to about $40 to $42, and that's going to be a good move for the team if we take that trade. Okay, next ticker symbol is the ETF IWM, which is the small caps. Okay, the small caps are in a bear flag, and you actually broke, okay, day one. We haven't confirmed. Okay, what did I say last week? If we close below 98.50 on 2 consecutive closes, we're going to look to short the markets. Well, tomorrow is day 2. If we close below 98.50 tomorrow, we're going to take the short. If you guys want to go long the TZA, you can go long TZA. You can buy actual shares of that bear ETF. Okay, small caps is basically what the United States economy is doing. It's pretty much the small businesses. If the small businesses aren't doing well, then the economy isn't doing well. Okay. The other day you had President Obama talk about whoever's talking that the economy hasn't grown or is doing bad is peddling fiction. This is important because now, if you notice, this is what's going on right now. The economy isn't doing well. Okay, and this is a clear signal that the IWM is showing that overall the economy in the U.S. isn't as good as what people are saying it is. Okay, and this right here, instead of shorting the SPY, the S&P, instead of shorting the Qs, I think the IWM is the best short right now. If we close below that $98.50, if we do close below 98.50, any move back to that 21 and 8-day moving average is going to be a shorting opportunity. Okay, so I want to reiterate that you may have a bounce, but once you close below 98.50, okay, that means that any move to that 100, 101 is going to be a shorting opportunity. Will I grab some? Maybe close to the day's end. If it's like 98.50, 98.40, yeah, I will. Okay. Next ticker symbol is ticker symbol NFLX, Netflix. Okay, Netflix, looking at the weekly chart, I understand that the markets are in a downside bias, but I do like Netflix at $73 to $76.50. That's my target to go long on this stock. Okay, I'm going to look at April 15 calls. Right now, they're in like $2 range. So I kind of based my average to be from somewhere around 90 cents to $1.60. That's when I'm going to start looking at Netflix for April 15 calls. Now, why do I say that? Okay, we could be in a deflationary period, but what does that mean for Netflix? I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and when you start saving money, what do you start doing? You start cutting back. Part of cutting back is stop going to the movies. Stop spending money on cable. You start cutting down. But Netflix offers new TV shows. Okay, they're coming out with several TV shows. They're doing their own programming now, their own cartoons. They're streaming, and it's cheap. Okay, it's cheap for the service. So what that means is there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be staying home, and they're going to be watching these productions. There's a new series coming out in March called Daredevil. Okay, and it's in their season 2. It's one of the Marvel productions, a Disney production. So what I want traders to kind of understand is um, what you want to kind of find are these stocks that are going to be able to be strong during a bad market. And I think Netflix will be one of these contracts, one of these stocks. And I think these contracts will play out pretty well. So let's keep an eye on Netflix. Okay, and I do like that 76.50. I put that 76.50 because that's that level that I want to kind of start adding. I'm going to grab maybe half of my position there and then grab the rest if it kisses 73. Okay. Next ticker symbol is GoPro. Okay, GoPro reported bad earnings. We traded this. We actually stopped out. But now I noticed the other day we had a bad market and the stock kissed that $9 range. It hit a low of 901, then held that 960 support, and then rallied and hit a high of $10.50. Okay, can it break lower? Yes, it can. But I noticed that on a weaker market on Friday, it was still doing well. Okay, and this is the weekly chart, but during the day, it hit that 960, held that support, and then rallied 1050, and then you close at 995. So start watching the Netflix here at that $9 kiss. Okay, look at that April 15 calls to about $11. Okay, next ticker symbol is FireEye, FEYE. Okay, I'm looking at potential kiss of that 13 level. I added some shares here at $1.20. I think they hit a low of $1.14. I think when we mentioned, and we're looking to scale in from 80 cents to $1.20. I do think that we can test that $15 range. This is the type of stock that can be up 5-6% in one day. So keep an eye on the FireEye. The next ticker symbol is YHOO. Okay, if you notice YHOO right now, we're putting in a new bottom. Okay, we actually kissed that $27 range. I'm looking at that $26.50 to $27.50. I know we are in a downtrend, but if you notice, we are in a line of symmetry. And if we can hold that 27 level, I wouldn't be surprised to test that 30 level. Okay, so watch that March 18 strikes for 28. Okay, we could see a bounce here. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the small caps. I want to go over a couple of things that I want traders to kind of look at. This is the transports. Okay, the transports are in a bear flag. Okay, transports are in a bear flag. You're noticing that a lot of transportation stocks aren't doing well. Zero Hedge actually put out some news that you're not seeing tankers out there in the Atlantic and the Pacific. There's really no trade going on. So the transports, if the transports are not doing it globally, the economies aren't doing well. Okay, another thing I want traders to kind of look at is Deutsche Bank. Okay, Deutsche Bank right now is getting under a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people talking about this being the next Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers. Okay, they reported last earnings that they lost 2.3 billion, okay, in euros. And if you notice here, the stock was trading up in the 50 levels, and now you're trading at $16.89. Okay, they're exposed to a lot of European debt. Okay, they're talking about them having bad credit from Europe that amounts to about 100 trillion, and that's wild. When a company is exposed to 100 trillion in credit defaults, you're talking about major collapse potential. So Deutsche Bank, you know, if you look at the XLF, which are the financials, they're in a bear flag. Okay, energy is in a downtrend. Okay, so and you have gold and silver both doing well. So this is something that traders have to start looking at. Okay, I know traders like to trade the markets, but overall market sentiment, you got to understand how the market works. Sometimes that kind of trickles into other things. Okay, so what does that mean? When you start getting into profit range, you got to understand, you got to take profits. You got to be more diligent on your parameters. You got to be more diligent on your parameters. Okay, some of you guys aren't looking at, you know, some of the stuff that's being posted. When you're getting a couple of views on the page and you're not kind of seeing what's going on, you're missing a couple of stocks. I mean, it's not that good. Okay, if you look at here, we talked about the HYG. We triggered at $79. okay, and 80 cents, and we got an opportunity to add as low as 72 cents. Now it's at 77.41. Okay, these are junk bonds. We were talking about how junk bonds were just going to be annihilated during a bad market. And why is that? Because these guys are exposed to a lot of oil companies that are filing bankruptcy right now. Okay, they just put Freeport-McMoRan on the junk status. So some of these junk bonds are really, really exposed to just bad debt, and also just the oil problems right now, the energy crisis that we're having right now. Okay, this would have been a good trade. The Alcoa bounced very, very nicely off that $6 level. Okay, the CLR. Okay, this gave us an opportunity to add high 22s and then pull back, hit a low of 18.30. Okay, we got to be able to profit off these entries. Okay, and all this is given on the watch list. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to small caps. Okay, there are a couple of small caps that build my interest. This was actually triggered last week, SDRL. I noticed that $1.90 level was holding quite well. I actually picked up shares at $1.92, sent it out, gave an opportunity. I think hit a low of $1.90 when I sent it out. Then the following next day, the stock ended up hitting a high of $2.23. I told traders to start looking to profit. I exited the trade at $2.20. And then now you're actually closing above this little bull flag, this mini bull flag that you're having here. What you want to see is this stock close above $2.21. Okay, and Seadrill is doing pretty good, even though you got oil pulling back. So that's significant. If you see Seadrill do well, that's divergence, as some of these oil stocks are now bouncing, even though oil is kind of pulling back. So this is significant, and I want traders to kind of understand that. Okay, next ticker symbol is SUNE, ticker symbol SUNE. If you notice here, SUNE is in a little bit of a bull flag right now. Okay, you're looking to close above that 21 and 8-day moving average. You can either do two things. You can either wait for a pullback down to this 230 to 250 range and just wait for an accumulation and a breakout above 290, or you could just wait for that 290 break. Okay, you close above 290 on 2 consecutive closes, you can take this on the way up, because then you break that bullish flag on the upside. Okay, next ticker symbol is UGAS. If you notice here, you're in this line of symmetry and you're trading above that $1.50 range. Now watch for that second day confirmation above 150. If you close above 150 tomorrow or in 2 days consecutively, I wouldn't be surprised for this thing to test $1.90 again. Okay, so watch the UGAZ. Okay, next ticker symbol is ticker symbol DNR, Denbury Resources. You're seeing a nice little channel here. Okay, bounce nice off that 90-cent range. Now, if you notice here, okay, you got that fib retracement down to that 8-day moving average at $1.30. If this thing pulls back, kisses $1.30, I like that entry. Okay, you could probably test that $1.60 again. Okay, so $1.30 to 60, you're talking about 20%. Okay, so this should be good. And the NETE is still in that bullish flag pattern, so you can still accumulate here on the NETE. Okay, so any questions on any of the small caps? Any questions on any of the small caps? Wow, we must be doing good because there's no questions. Okay, good stuff. So I'm going to go over now some of the weekly watch list. First, I'm going to go over the trading journal. The trading journal we just started coming out with. These are pretty much some of the stocks that we've actually triggered using the weekly watch list and the SMS. Now, there's a lot of traders out there that are saying, man, I'm just not getting the opportunity to buy these stocks. One of the gentlemen actually sent me a message and said, hey, Mod, problem is you're not giving me liquid stock. You're not giving me any stocks that are liquid. Are you going to start posting liquid stocks? Now, I don't know how liquid you need these stocks to get, but the bottom line is I want to buy stock, okay, with the risk-reward ratio. I want to look at the best entry for my members, because if I'm buying somewhere near that range, I'm buying it because I have lower risk to higher reward. Okay. What I started doing now is the moment I send out the SMS and the mobile app, I'm going to go and I'm going to open a GoTo meeting and we're just going to go to a meeting and I'm going to explain the trade right after it gets sent out, because there's a lot of confusion. When am I buying? Okay, if a buy zone says a buy zone, then I want to buy in between that buy zone. Okay, and then I want to wait till it breaks that pivot on 2 consecutive closes, because then that's going to act as support. I want traders to kind of understand that. And don't be afraid for a stock to just pull back maybe 2 ticks. Depending on where you're buying, okay, those 2 ticks may just equal 15%. Okay, losing 15% of your entry is not going to be that much money. Okay, the other day I was invited to a meeting, and I believe that FLCR was sent out during that meeting, and a member had bought in, I believe, at 18, and the stock then pulled back, and I think it kissed 17 or something like that. And then he goes, "Oh no, the stock is pulling back. Why do I always buy and then the stock goes down?" The guy was just down about 6%. Okay, I believe he bought it at 19, and I think it pulled back to like 18 or 17. And he got nervous. The following day, the stock hit a high of 28. Okay, you can't go into a stock negative. Part of this is being positive. Okay, I'm a firm believer in positive assertion. I told traders to kind of read the book by Paulo Coelho, The Alchemist. Okay, he talks about positive energy. Okay, finding your treasure. Okay, or your reason. I forgot what he called it. But I want traders to kind of understand, if you're going into trading, okay, you have to go with an open mindset. You have to be positive, but you have to be a realist. Okay, at the same time, okay, you have to follow your protocol, your rules. Okay, so I want to go over the ICNV. If you notice the ICNV, when it actually triggered, you had a couple of trades in this. Okay, when this triggered initially, I believe it was like 16, 19, or it hit 20, and then it rallied 35, and then it just couldn't hold that level. And then it pulled back, bounced, and then it triggered at 16.20. When it did trigger, I entered at 16. I posted it in the chat room, then I sent it out, and then I mentioned that I had placed a bid at 14 and got filled. Then the following day, the stock rallied, kind of hit that 35 level, pulled back, and then rallied again and hit a high of 48. Okay, so this was a couple of times trade. Okay, the stock rallied off that kiss of that 19, hit that low 14, 16, and then the stock rallied to 48. Now what you want to see is that support at 0.002 if it can hold there. Okay, why? Because that's your 8-day moving average at 24. So watch that 0.00224 level. Okay, next ticker symbol is the RDAR. I even made a video about this one here. Put it on the weekly watch list a couple of weeks ago when it was at 35.40. I told traders to watch that 0.003. If it held, we were going to start looking to add shares there. The stock ended up hitting a high of 0.014, then pulled back to the 21 and 8-day moving average. Right now, what we want to see is a 50 to 61% retrace. I'm looking at that 0.005 to 0.006 level. Okay, simply place your stop close below 0.005. This was a prime example of adding or scaling into a trade. If it's a low share structure stock, if it's a stock that doesn't have that much liquidity, then fine, just don't add that many shares. If you're used to adding $600 to $1,000, then maybe you'll add $200 to $300. The stock rally hit a high of 0.014 from 0.004. That's about 200%, 300% move from that level. If you would have just put $200, you would have made $400. Okay, so these are things that traders have to understand. Right now, the trend is low share structure stocks. That's what they're moving. Okay, they're not buying the 000 stocks right now. Okay, so follow the trend. The trend is your friend until the end. Okay. Next ticker symbol is the PKGM. When I sent it out, I put it on the post at 0.003 to 0.004. It then pulled back. And then I told traders I added at 23 and 29. Okay, I got filled. Posted it, sent it out via SMS and premium Twitter. Okay, then the stock rallied. Okay, just beautifully hit a high of 0.011. And then I was talking about the retrace level. The retrace level was hit. I told traders to watch that 0.004 to 0.005. It actually hit 3.1. Okay, 3.1 to 3.7. Then rallied and hit a high of 0.0079. Okay, this was a great trade. off that retrace level. Okay, what do I mean by a retrace level? If a stock rallies from 0.004, it doesn't just keep on going high. It hit a high of 0.014. What does that mean? Okay, it broke 0.01 but didn't hold 0.01, so it was coming back down. If you go 50% from 0.014, that means it's coming back down. Okay, and I gave that entry. I said, look, on a video, I also did a video, and I said, look, if this thing pulls back, watch that 0.004 to 0.005. You simply could have just placed your stop close below 0.004. It kissed 3137, never closed below 0.004 on 2 consecutive closes. Then boom, it rallied. Okay, part of this is trading the levels, and you guys have to understand that these stocks work, okay, in waves. Okay, we talk about Elliott waves. Okay, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 is the longest, and then you get a small correction. I had a member the other day say, hey, Mod, but the issue is you're sending out too many stocks. These are too many stocks. Okay, I understand that, but you're not buying all the stocks. You're actually buying 1 or 2 off the list. And basically almost all of them on the list did well. Okay. Welcome, Kenny. Okay, so it's very important to understand the reason that we want to buy at or near a buy zone is because then it's giving us that silent trading. Okay, it's giving us an opportunity to add when it's low. Okay, part of it is adding when nobody else is, because as that stock starts rallying, now you can start scaling out, and then you just hand over the baton. Now, if that stock breaks pivot on 2 consecutive closes, you know, okay, wait a minute, it just closed above pivot 2 times. Now I'm going to wait for the rally, and then I'm just going to add the pullback. But a lot of traders just don't like doing that. And traders have to kind of understand that this is the way we do it. The AMLH, just a beautiful example. This stock gave an opportunity to enter at the buy zone 000810 probably like 3 times. Okay, initially the stock pulled back, never closed below 8 2 times, kissed that 7 level, then hit a high of 16. Pulled back, gave an entry at 8 9, then hit a high of 16, then pulled back to 9, and then you hit a high of 18. But traders were buying it intraday when the stock broke 16, and they were buying the 16s and 18s. Okay, because now they started seeing more liquidity in the stock. But you just gave up 3 opportunities. This is actually on my list again, and I'm going to explain why I think this thing is going to move higher. But at the same time, you have to be able to trade these stocks when they're at buy zones. Why? Because it's at a probability trade. If you're buying it from 0008 to 10, that limits you with 30% risk in relationship to a 60 to 100% move. Okay, but traders just don't want to buy it because they don't like holding. Part of this has to be patience and discipline. It's robotic trading. Okay, you have to buy these stocks at or near levels so you can manage risk. If I'm buying $500, $600 worth, I want to risk just 30% because I don't want to lose all this money. And what's happening is a lot of guys, when they see the stock break, they still hold because they want to cross their fingers and cross their toes. You can't be emotionally attached to this. And I see a lot of guys get emotional in the chat room. Hey, what's going on with TPNI? Hey, what's going? If you know that it pulled back and it closed below 19 on 2 consecutive closes, and your buy zones were from 19 to 25, you know you got to get out of that stock because it just closed below key level support 0.022 on 2 consecutive closes. Where is that going to lead me? Okay, now I'm going to look at that 12-15 buy zone. And what did it do? Kissed 11-12, filled. and now the stock is trading at 15. So I want traders to kind of understand that level, okay, and that sentiment. You have to make sure that you set parameters, and part of this is looking at the setups, okay. The Kobe, this was a stock that did I believe it was a ×3 trade. Triggered first at 9, hit a high of 15, pulled back, hit a low of 8, then hit a high of 13. And this was a ×2 trade because I know I took it. Then the stock pulled back, hit a low of 7, and then it lost that 8 support. I had bought in at 8, and I said, wait a minute. Now the stock is looking a little weak. And then it still closed at 11. Okay, so I want traders to kind of understand that sentiment. You have to understand the sentiment. You have to be able to trade these stocks into rallies. Next ticker symbol is TINO, T-I-N-O. Okay, this was in a line of symmetry. We lost that 10 support, remember? And I said, if the stock loses that 10 support, we're going down 50%. A lot of traders bought it at 0004.5. Then the stock, I said, potentially long, buy, set, and forget for a lotto. It could hit 15 to 30, and it hit a high of 0.0026. Okay, so it's very important to feel that you can buy at buy zone. Okay, because then you set a parameter and have less risk when you use a stop. It's very, very important. Okay, next ticker symbol is NWPN. As I mentioned, okay, that the low float share structure stocks are being run. Okay, we don't want to make excuses why they're being run. We don't know if other rooms are doing it, whether groups are doing it. But I get a scan and this pops up, and I noticed this at, I believe it was at 21 by 23 or 27, and I took the trade and I posted it and I said, look, this isn't a line of symmetry. These guys are walking it up. It had no bid, but they were just tapping it. It hit a high of 0.35. I locked profits at 32. And then I said, you know what? It hit a high of 35, no bid. Watch that stock pull back to 16, 17. It never did. It kissed that 0.0022 level. And then I noticed, let me add this again at 23. And then the stock rallied and then hit a high of 0.0079. And now they want to look to close this above levels. Okay, it is a low share structure stock. There isn't that much liquidity. So simply add $200, $300. You know that there's not that much liquidity, but you want to kind of grab some shares on the way up, just in case it rallies. And simply place your stop close below the low. And this was just the move that it did. And it was a significant move. Okay, and then we have ticker symbol FCX, and that was just a good trade. But we're talking about the OTC, so I want to go over the OTCs now. Any questions with anything that we've covered? Any questions with anything that we've covered? Okay, so let the trend is low SS plays. NWPN. Okay, so I failed to put in TPNI. This actually triggered for us. What I'm noticing here, we're seeing a little bit of a rounded bottom action. Watch that 21 start moving into, or that 8-day moving average, 8-day moving average start moving into that 21-day moving average. I think that this stock may continue to start accumulating somewhere around here. What I want traders to do is wherever you bought, okay, I want you to keep a 30% stop below your entry. Okay, we noticed stocks like DCAC had that rounded bottom, but it's just never formed. This is a lower share structure stock. Right now, I'm noticing that the outstanding shares are just 171 million, and the authorized shares are just 200 million. I don't know if that's changed, but right now it's giving us an opportunity to buy anywhere from 11 to 14. Simply place your stop close below 11 or 10, depending on where you got in. Okay, the stock broke that 19 support and then pulled back to 11 and 12, holding that level. Watch for an accumulation around the bottom. Look for key break of 21. We want to see this stock close above 21 on 2 consecutive closes so we can potentially test that 0.004 to 0.006 level. Okay, next ticker symbol is the AMLH. Okay, now what I'm noticing is we're looking at that next wave. Okay, right now you're posting in a little bit of a bullish flag, inside flag pattern. Okay, the stock rallied, put in a little bit of a topping tail, but then it's kind of holding that 10-11 level, which is the 21-day moving average. So the 21 and the 8-day moving average is right at 10-11. So what does that mean to me? I want to buy somewhere near that range. I either want to do that or I'm going to wait for it to close above 16 on 2 consecutive closes, because if it does, it likely will test that 0.003 to 0.007 level. Okay, so look tomorrow for the level 2 and the strongest bid support. If you start seeing a huge bid at 11, then you simply buy at 12 with a stop close below 12 2 times. Okay, this is how you want to start approaching these stocks, because you want to start looking where traders want to start buying these stocks. Okay, the AMLH right now, I'm looking at that 9 kiss if it can get there. It may not. We're going to look at the level 2. I added a starter at 11 on February 4th, 2016. So I want to make sure that I disclose that. The pivot for me is going to be a close above 18, which is that previous high. My stop close is going to be a close below 9 because I bought at 11. So that's about 20 to 30% risk. Okay, so I'm looking for AMLH to have strong support at 0.0010 and 11. Okay, that's where I want to buy. Okay, and I'm going to look for 0.018 break. Okay, if it does break 18, I'm looking a break of 18. I'm looking for 30. Okay, so those are the levels. Okay, I do like the MLH. I like how it's looking. I like the fact that there's continued accumulation, and it just looks like it wants to kind of break higher. Okay, next ticker symbol is IGPK. This is a probability trade. If you notice here, you're seeing a nice bottoming tail right here. Okay, this could be the time where this thing reverses. Okay, so you have a bullish reversal candle. On the IGPK. Okay, so this is something that we want to see if this is going to confirm a bottom. What I want to see is a close above 19 on 2 consecutive closes. A close above 19 will confirm reversal. Okay, so these are the levels that I want to kind of look at. I like the float, 133 million. I don't know if it's changed, but this is a level that I want to watch. If the stock closes below that 12 low, then we're going to look for that 0007, 6, maybe even a kiss of 6. Okay, and we have to be tight with these stocks. Okay, because we just don't know what these stocks can do. Right now, do I think that the stock can break above higher? If it holds that level, yes. But I want to see a close above 19 on 2 consecutive closes. It's just something I want to see. If it does close above 19, I think we'll test this 45 level. And you never know, it could test 0.009. This is in the cannabis sector, okay? Maybe a couple of weeks ago, they had a news that we actually broke 5.4 billion in marijuana sales in the medicinal marijuana sector. Okay, this is significant, especially now with the down economy. You're heading into November elections, and we don't know if they're going to start pressing for legalization. So this is something that we want to understand. And if you look at the RSI, you're way oversold at 24.28. So the IGPK is way oversold. Okay, and you have marijuana sector exceeds 5.3 billion 2015. Okay, IGPK is MJ. Okay, so this is something I want traders to kind of understand for the IGPK. Okay, Next ticker symbol is ticker symbol FLCR. As I mentioned, the latest craze is the low share structure stocks, so low SS trend. Okay, this is a stock that has traded as high as 0.05 to 0.06. Okay, now you can buy the FLCR as low as 15 to 20, and I think that that's a good buy zone. Okay, if you notice here, you're connecting each pivot low and you're actually kissed that level and you bounced well. You hit a high of 28. What I want to see is a close above 34. Close above 34. Okay, if you close above 34, the scene of the crime is 40. Because why? Because the last time this thing hit 40, which was around this range, you had a rally from 0.004 to 0.013. Okay, that's a big, big move. Okay, it is a low share structure stock, so maybe you may want to just add fewer shares, but at the same time, this is a stock that can really bounce if you close above that 34 level. Okay, the AS is just 200 million AS, okay, which is significant. So this is a low share structure stock that is holding a vertical support of 15 on the weekly chart. This is a stock that traded from 0.004 to 0.013 in 2015, and in the last few days has been under accumulation in lows. Okay, so this is significant right now. So this is a stock we want to kind of keep an eye on. Another stock kind of reminds me of that NWPN. Is ticker symbol LEAS. This is a strategic asset leasing. If you notice here, you're in a line of symmetry, and the stock attempted to break this 47 level, but you closed at the low of the day. So this is a bit of a bearish topping tail. So watch that 0.0014 to 0.002 level if the stock allows it. Just watch or wait for the biggest or the strongest level 2, and we'll kind of keep an eye on it if they start trying to walk this up. Authorized shares is just 300 million. Outstanding shares is just 31 million. And the float is just a measly 6 million. I don't know how updated the share structure is, but it does have a potential to kind of move higher. Another one is the ticker symbol MXSG. We've traded it before. Couldn't hold above that 0.003 level, but now it's kind of testing that 52-week range or that low, the massive support at 52. So I want traders to kind of keep an eye on that. So the LEAS is a low flow potential, very light shares. So watch for a walk up. Okay, the MXSG, I want to keep an eye on that 15 level. Okay, that 15 support is crucial. On MXSG. Okay, so that's crucial. If you close below 15 on 2 times, close below that 2 times, then you're gonna watch that 000910 support. Okay, so I want traders to make sure that they follow and they abide by that setup. Okay, the next ticker symbol is GFOX. You're in a downward trend. Okay, we're looking to bounce off this level, so this is a line of symmetry. I added here at 16. I added some at 13. Okay, now the stock looks to kind of bounce up. It closed at 19. What we want to see is a close below 20, above 24. So GFOX key level to break is going to be that 24. Okay, so you need to confirm that 2 times. Confirm. If you notice, they had a website and they posted that they were doing deliveries for the Super Bowl for parties. So you may get some revenues here coming up for GFOX. So that's something to kind of look for. That's basically it. That's all the stocks that I have for this week. Okay, if you have any questions on anything that we've covered, Okay, so if there aren't any more questions, any stocks we want to review, any stocks we want to go over, any setups, sentiments. Okay, great. So what I'm going to start doing is as soon as something triggers, whether it's a small cap, whether it's an option, whether it's an OTC, it's going to get sent out via SMS mobile app. The moment it gets sent out via mobile app SMS, I'm going to go and I'm going to post the go-to meeting in the room, and then I'm going to put a visual. I'm going to show you guys that level 2. I'm going to show you guys why I'm actually looking at the chart and why I think that the stock has potential upside. I'm going to show you the bid support if we're going to look at some mal MMs, and we're going to look at how we're going to approach the stock. Because I noticed that a lot of people, what they're doing is they're getting the information, but they just don't know what to do with the information. Okay, I'm not going to be on the go-to meeting the whole day. I'm just going to cover something and I'll record it. And then what I'll do is I'll just slowly get out of it. And then if I got to do an update, I'll just post that I'm going to do an update during that time frame. Okay, so that's what we're going to practice on. We're going to start working on a couple of different things. And I got a couple of calls. I also got a couple of emails from different people. Let's keep that feedback going. Okay, the dialogue is very important. Okay, use the mentorship. Okay, if you're having some trouble, you got to be able to have some dialogue. Okay, we got to get some flow going. I noticed that when we do the webinars, part of it and part of learning is getting that question and getting those answers, because you learn by asking questions. And I noticed that sometimes we don't get that that much. Okay, I want traders to not feel bashful. Okay, some of this it has to become repetitive. It's almost like tying your sneaker. You know what I mean? Part of this is very unemotional and very systematic, and I want to get it to that point. The moment you start making profits, where am I going to start hedging? Where am I going to start putting that into dividend paying assets, or I'm going to start going into short positions? What are we going to start looking to short in case the market starts pulling back 25%? Okay, we got to start learning how to do this. When you're getting on the chat room, okay, if you're posting something, post a setup. You know, some of these guys don't know what they're looking at. You know, post where are you looking to buy these stocks? Why are you looking to buy these stocks? Okay. So I want to thank everybody. I apologize for dragging this on. Let's have a great trading week next week. Okay, we're looking forward to a good trading week. Looking forward to some good levels. Hopefully, we could take some profits off the table. Okay, take care, everyone. Have a good night.